Call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Louis, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Gray Eyes, Fillmyeyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near. And the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the parts, ink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light, in the yard of seduction, walks soft through the smoke, silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke, books and bards, wakes dust in the depth of the shelves, old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen up the ache, gets a voice, pain stands up street and makes silence a choice, then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink, but the pulse says pray, echoes in the dark, go hunt the fear, that thing with no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart. And rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. This is a pulse with a pen, this is blood with an echo, this is breath to the backbone, ink for the crown, live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark, a room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. and more. Late night poets, when the clock slips past polite, we tell the truth. L&P, we love you. Stay frosty.
Hello everyone, welcome to Fillmyeyes and IntimidusRex with poetry. Hope everyone had a great week and I hope you have a wonderful weekend to follow. And so I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Hi Rex.
Hello, hello.
How are you tonight?
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, not much. I haven't talked to you all week. You probably are so relieved that I did not call you for anything. I always call with some kind of conundrum. So how's your weather?
88, humid.
Nice? Oh, not so nice. I think we've been running somewhere around the 80s ourselves here. It's yeah, but it's been fairly pleasant, so I can't complain too much. Um, you know, wouldn't want to make a habit of that, right? Just kidding, just kidding. And hello, Laurent. Welcome to the party.
Thank you, Gene. Good evening, Rex. How are you guys doing?
Hey.
Ho,
Yeah.
ho, ho.
Jojo said it was about 79 degrees there in Connecticut today. Not too bad. Not too bad. What was your weather, Laurent?
About 70 and the occasional thunderstorm.
Oh, 70. That's pretty good. And Visago, how about you? I gotta figure out where to look for this. Oh my gosh.
25. Damn.
Oh, where are you, Visago? Celsius.
Oh.
25 is Celsius. I had a feeling it had to be Celsius. I had a feeling. 77. Bed.
76, 77.
Yeah. As a JoJo said, that's 77. Um, I'm trying to remember where he's at. Dagnabbit. Where is he, Rex?
Was what?
Where's Visago at? Help me out. Takes me a few
I'm not
times.
sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Oh, he's in Spain.
Oh, Spain.
Sorry, hon, I forgot. It usually takes me a couple times and then I figure it out. Yeah, it's in Spain. That's a nice show. Yeah. We don't have Monty here to represent Australia. Nor do we have Art Panther. They're upside down. What can I say? Excuse me. Good heavens to Betsy. I think I got a frog in my throat. So, anyway, let's see. What else is new today? He's Norwegian, not Spanish.
I like that delineation. Just for shits and giggles.
Who did what?
He says,
Oh,
I'm
he's
Norwegian, not Spanish.
Spain is okay. I think that's why I was confused a little bit. So you're Norwegian and you live in Spain, correct? Or is he just pulling my leg all the way around? With you guys, I'm never 100% sure. Barcelona, my European happy place. Okay, Jojo. Thank you very much.
Running with the Bulls.
I run with the Bulls every Friday night. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Oh, sorry, that's a BS. I run with every Friday night. Yeah, so, let's see. I don't know. I had a short board tonight. Which is, bound to happen. There you go. Oh my gosh. Well, that works for Zaga. Sounds like a good reason to, well, Well, travel. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so let me see. We're off tomorrow night. And Rex, what is going on Sunday?
It's Father's Day.
I know, but you don't have a board up.
Yes, I do.
Well, we couldn't find it yesterday. Let me look, because we were looking. Because
I think
Pam's
it's below yours tonight. Is it? Yes,
oh,
it's sitting below yours.
wow, it's pretty short. Pam's been promoting the one for Larks because we couldn't find yours. So I thought maybe you changed your mind. I guess I should have called. Just saying. Oh my gosh. So, well, we're looking for rights for Sunday, everybody. Please feel free to add one. And yeah, I don't think we have anything else exciting going on Father's Day. What we got going on Monday? Well, Tuesday for you. Tuesday morning.
Uh,
Rex says, I don't know. Let me look. I'm with you.
yeah, let me go look.
I get it.
I'm not quite sure.
Let me look. Let me look. Eraser. I hope I'm losing here. Typewriter? The typewriter? Yeah, that's what it says. After midnight. The typewriter.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's
that's right. Yeah,
typewriter.
we were
Okay.
talking about it.
Well, that's a different one. It could be fun, I guess. You get some vintage type of rights out of it. Lauren, I see you picked up another N on your name. Is Ron?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
Well, it wasn't a question. I said I see you picked up another N on your name.
Another N?
Yeah, Ron.
Oh, that'd be a fat finger mistake, eh?
I don't know. I didn't know. I can't tell if anybody does things on purpose or not around here. Oh my goodness! So welcome back, Ms. Algo. And one, three, or what's the topic? Tonight's open poetry with Algo. You can feel free to throw another one at the end of the board. And we won't charge extra or anything. Um, yeah, so let me see now. What else is new? Nothing. There's nothing new. It was just a beautiful day here. And yeah, my grandson went to the carnival. I know you're all excited about that. And yeah, so anyway, tonight. We already did the weather, so that's over. Oh, and that concludes our weather report for this evening. Sorry, I forgot to say that. I have. Oh, I have some carryovers from last Friday. We have.
What was what, two?
No, we have yours. We have two from Wolf Spirit, and we have one from Laurent. I just moved them all to Friday to today. Which
Yeah,
was
all right.
yeah. We're gonna do version 3 of yours from last week, since we skipped
Oh,
3 and did 4. So I don't want to miss any of them. I thought that was pretty funny. It was like a walk down memory lane, you know. So I like that. But yes. Other than that, let me think. Well, Rex, what do you have to add? Throw something in here, man. Rex,
well,
I don't know.
well, not much. Except the
Nothing.
frogs are singing up a storm out here because it's
That.
still moisty air.
I don't know. I kind of like that sound, but we can't hear anything here from them, so that's pretty good. I don't hear them.
Well, if I went outside, you'd be hearing it.
Oh yeah.
It's loud.
Laurent's the one who used to have the loud frogs every year.
Yeah, I took care of that issue. Whenever I hear frogs on the deck like that, I try to find where they are. Usually it's a corner I can't reach. I take some kind of a spice, powdered spice,
Yeah.
I dribble a little in front of where it is, and I use the leaf blower to blow it in there. And they come rocketing out, and they never come back.
Oh. Well, you're a real party pooper.
Well, I don't necessarily need an orchestra of croaks when I'm trying to listen to a song of poetry.
Mm. And then,
Used to
Well, here
complain
you
it was
go. Listen
too
to this.
loud.
what's that?
Used to
Can
complain
you
it
hear
was too
this?
loud.
I've never complained. No, I don't hear a thing, right?
Oh,
Not a thing. You know something? I never complained about the frogs. I used to like them. Thanks. Uh, so yeah. Well, now that we've gotten the frog choruses figured out, not figured out, but we've discussed the frogs.
Ribbit.
Oh my gosh. So yes. So I guess that about sums everything up for now. It was a quiet. Well, it was kind of a quiet day. Other than activity over in LMP, but it was, you know, somewhat quiet. Maybe everybody in there at the same time. That would be amazing. Play some music and draw them in. No, so anyway, let's see. Um, Happy Juneteenth, everyone. Just saying. I don't want anybody to think I'm oblivious to it all. I didn't put any of those poems up on the board for Juneteenth. So, I cannot help. I only had one on the reading list as well. But I don't remember who that was. Somebody put it up. Oh, Charles Burdett. Yeah, would have been nice. But, so anyway, let's see. It's 10:15. I'm ahead of schedule tonight. Somebody's got to come up with something. What can we talk about? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm lost for conversation tonight. Go figure. Oh, what can I say? Well, I guess on that note, we'll get the party started.
sure. Why not?
Why not? Exactly. That was what I was thinking, Rex. Why not? This first poem for tonight is called Sparking Radio Flyer Dreams, version 3 by IntimidusRex. And I have an audio for that. All I have to do is get my ducks in a row. We could be waiting a long time for that. That's a time killer. Okay, here we go.
I got an invite from that dipper glowing bright, in that 7 Majoris was burning. The ladle it gleams from her flowing streams, a galaxy of souls in their churning. We walk late in the night, these poets of insight, breathing solar winds we fly freely. When the radio waves call, come one and come all, from the bridge dear Ursa is steely. Come one and come all, when the radio does call, as we sound that bell twice nightly. After midnight's hearse is a comet tail burst, where a voice can walk that road tightly. From those heavens above come those sounds of love, as long into the morn we are sharing. There are giggles and laughs and musical paths, where the she-bear is seafaring. Come raise up a beer where our verses are clear, and that vixen begs you be falling. For that babbler sings along as M does belong to the LNP cosmos so sprawling. Gray dove lunar rays stream in coherent arrays as aphasia rocks a captain station. On neutron shores, a wise man's harmony explores, and tears fill my eyes with elation.
There we go. Nice job, Rex. Nice job. That's why I got you.
5 years old on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got a kick out of it, because the first one was like the oldest, and then when you walked your way forward, and different names appeared as we went along. So I always thought that was pretty cool to just trying to figure out. And I had to skip the third one last week because I wanted to make sure, excuse me, that all our current folks, heard it. So, but it was worth hearing it.
Have to do another one to pick up the slack on what's of the rollovers we've had since the last one, which
Yes,
was
you're falling behind,
3
Rex.
years ago.
You're falling behind. Oh my gosh, yeah. So that was a fun one. You've heard that before, right, Laurent?
Actually, I hadn't. I thought it was very interesting using the Reckon Evan Fitzgerald tune for the poem, because when I was reading it, I was kind of looking for where the rhythm would be. I wasn't finding it. I didn't think you'd sing it, but that was well done.
Nice, thank you.
I like the fact he sings it with no music and keeps on it. Keeps that tune going. More power to him.
That's one of those songs you can't help but because of the
Wow.
voice itself.
You've got a dulcet little baritone of a voice, don't you?
I get some things right here and there. This one was pretty good.
Oh my god.
Very good. I'm gonna have to dig up the others.
Yes. Look at
Yeah,
last week.
the last one was a full version.
Yeah.
Because the first three were shortened versions, only one, yeah, 1, 2, 3. The last one I did a full version because I dropped in a shitload of names.
Yes. That one was pretty loaded. That I must say. Well, I didn't comment on this one either, Rex. I'm sorry. I'll be back to it. I promise.
Oh, I ain't worried about it.
Well, I worry about it because, gosh, I must have heard it a few times. You'd think I would have said something. How rude I am. Rude, rude, rude. Wow. I love when I see something and I'm like, how did I not comment on this before? So, yes. So, listen, the next piece I'm going to put up is called Late Night Poets by Wolf Spirit. And, Rex, I'm going to ask you to give this one a read.
All righty. Late Night Poets by Wolf Spirits. Poet enters, left of stage, romantic, comic, darkling sage. 2 hours have we to strut and fret, leaving impressions hard to forget. Compose a line, create a right, find time to read aloud tonight. Listen to the others sing, take in the beauty which they bring. Be thou faceted or myopic, enter a contest or find a topic. Friends await you when you travel, our airwaves, stories to unravel. In for a penny, in for a pound, come revel at the joyous sound, the troubadours of light and laughter, and journeys into the hereafter. Did you ever witness such a thing? Such fantasies in life they bring, classic nuances of the past, and model lines to have a blast. The coolest place on earth to be is right here at All Poetry, and every night is Poetry Night, right here in person on LNP. And poem. Nice. I
Thank
hadn't
you.
seen that one before. All right, Gingini.
Oh, I love this piece. I really did. I think you did a wonderful job with it. I contribute to everyone. And, I said thank you so much. Um, Wolf Spirit's hard to believe it's been 4 years since we lost him. And what a great guy. Well, Wolf Spirit and I had a love-hate relationship. I gotta admit that right up front. We had our moments, but we always, respected each other and each other's work. So, and I always remember that about him. He's a good guy, good guy. And I did. I like this piece. So, you know, thanks, Wolf. WS, as I used to call him. Huh? Always. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Gene. And Laurent, how about you?
Yeah, I miss Will's spirit as well. There was a man who did not like to be told no, and had an independent spirit that sometimes rubbed people the wrong way, but unnecessarily so, because he made up for it in the quality of his work, the strength of his friendship. And he always gave us a poem that worked well, and this one works very well. I like the way he begins. Poet enters left of stage, romantic comic, darkling sage. 2 hours have we to strut and fret, leaving impressions hard to forget. And he was, and is, hard to forget. We miss you all.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You're right. That was a great opening note. Kind of hits on that idea of opening up the curtains. And you got a little bit of stage fright? Don't worry about it. It's okay. Everybody's friendly here. And then he finished off with the coolest place on earth to be is right here at All Poetry, and every night is poetry night right here in person on LMP. So you get that a full circle note. So I thought it was pretty cool. I do like in for a penny, in for a pound. Nice. Just
Right.
let it all hang out.
I just looked at the contest that I was entered in, and I see you took gold in this contest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see that? And Jabbo came in second. Yes, yes, yes. If I knew the tune to that one, I'd put that one up too. Oh my gosh. No, so that was a good piece, and I was glad we got that. I found it in my folder, so um, I was glad to have that. So let me see what else we have. I gotta park something somewhere. Okay. The next piece I'm gonna put up is called "A Decade of Sharing" by Laurent Devon. And let me put this up on YouTube. Otherwise, I will forget, and then everything will be all out of sync. Okay, Laurent, whenever you're ready.
A decade of sharing. There's a Pink Floyd song called Time. Within that song is this lyric. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. 10 years ago, my uncertain pen began scribbling, sharing wordplay, imagery, emotion, telling stories. I had no idea a group called Late Night Poets would change my life. Relationships formed, part of a second life as real as the one my parents birthed. In a way, I was reborn as someone else, an entity behind distance, a different face in a different land, a stranger for the briefest moments, who found a home, speaking into a microphone, sharing my heart with invisible friends. Wild ride filled with laughter and tears as we all stripped away one mask, replacing it with another, taking masks off. LNP radio was a bird that flexed its wings and found it could soar, its song echoing in the distance between the stars. This bird had many names: Jean, Pam, Gray, Luyu, Rex, and a dozen more, shepherds to a flock, gathered to open their hearts with words of wonder, sharing the bones of their bodies, sharing their poetry. 10 years have now passed, winding their way backwards into memory that holds them dear. LNP Radio, 10 years has got behind you. I'll hang around for the next 20. End poem.
Nice read there, Laurent. Thank you very much. All right, Genie.
Well, I have to say thank you, Laurent. That was a wonderful tribute to LMP and to the group, and to all of our great hosts and hostesses. We're a lot of us. For a long time we've done a bit of a turnaround, but I think we really found our crowd. Uh, I like how you started out with Pink Floyd. 10 years of God, and then one day you find 10 years of God behind you. Isn't that the truth? So we were saying last week. It was like, wow, amazing, pretty amazing. Um, Sometimes it feels like the blink of an eye, and other times it's like I feel every one of those years. but
Yeah.
Very well written, very well done. Great nod to everyone. And I'm glad to see you found a home. That's what we did. That's what the intent was. You know, and it's nice to know that someone found a home. I shouldn't say that. There was quite a few, I think, and everything. It's all, how do I want to say it? Cyclical. People come in, they get a taste of it, they hang around for a while, and then they move out, and somebody else moves in, and that's just the way it's.
Well, I tell you what, some people call it home, others call it a school where you learn with a very stern headmistress.
Mm, yeah, she's a witch, I hear. hmm But yeah, so nicely done, and thank you very much. Okay,
Were you
Mr.
were
Rex.
you were you offering yourself up as the one who cast spells along with the dungeon queen?
Well, I was trying to keep it clean, okay? I just changed out a letter. That was all. That's all I did. Robert didn't call me the boss lady for nothing.
True.
Yes, yes. He named me right up from the beginning almost. He didn't mean it, though. He didn't mean it to be mean, though, I don't think. I'll have to ask him later. Hey, did you mean to be mean to me? Uh, yeah. So,
Oh, I like the way this starts out too with that note of Pink Floyd song "Time" and then dropping that one line. Nice touch with that because you don't realize how you look at things before you know it. 10 years have gotten behind you, and
hmm
damn, where'd they all go?
Yep.
And it's just I like that note. 10 years ago, my uncertain pen began scribbling, sharing wordplay, imagery, emotion, telling stories. I had no idea a group called Late Night Poets would change my life. And then I thought, in a way, I was reborn as someone else, an entity behind distance, a different face in a different land, a stranger for the briefest moments who found a home, speaking into a microphone, sharing my heart with invisible friends. That is exactly how Gene put it, because I remember Friday nights way back in the day. It was for a while there. It was a lot of it was just it was almost a talk show, free
Yeah.
thoughts all over the place. Where one picked up something, all of a sudden the rabbit trail went somewhere else.
hmm It's kind of still
But,
true.
well, yeah, but now we got more into this, and the banter on the back end is just the inside jokes, having some fun.
Right, right. How true is that? How true is that? Ah, my goodness, yeah, it's been crazy. I guess it's my turn to read, huh?
Oh, unless you plan on pushing a button so you can sing it.
Nah, I only have one other button to push.
Ooh.
See how people do me tonight? Left PM's got one. Missed it. Left PM doesn't have one. Okay, so this next piece, and this is going to be the last of our tribute pieces. So let me put it over here. This one little button boy just messes me all up. There's just no flow to it. And hi, Robbie. Welcome aboard. This is also another piece by Wolf Spirit. And I hope I got the right one. Wait a minute. Let me see. No, I do not. See how I am? I put up the wrong one. Life is. Oh, now it's rough. Hang on. I got to fix that over there now. Gosh dang it. Hang on. Okay. God, I'm slow. Okay. This one is called LMP, An Acrostic Endeavor by Wolf Spirit. Literary voyagers exploring the realms of poetry, a myriad of styles and experience, together in their quest for positive experience. Excellence achieved through mutual admiration. Naysayers of the harsh critique, inspiring each other to learn and grow. Generous with praise of each other. Happy to collaborate and assist. Tutelage and compassionate dedication to friendship. Purveyors of warmth and reason. Obsequious to the love of artistry. Expressive and determined to excel. Tendering perfection for desire and will. Sworn to the love of the written word. End poem.
Great read, Jean. Thank you very much. And Laurent, want to start with you, please?
Well, as ever, this is well done. I like the term literary voyagers, exploring the realms of poetry, a myriad of styles and experience. Let me jump to the second stanza. Naysayers of a harsh
Yeah.
critique, inspiring each other to learn and grow, generous with the praise of others. And that is. It took me a while to get over not being able to critique something I didn't like, but that's not what it's all about. It's all about taking the positive and keeping it positive. And I think that uh, Wolf Spirit would really enjoy the fact that on the 520th Friday of LNP Radio, he had 2 poems read.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Jeannie, what do you think?
Well, my comment to him then was many thanks to, thank yous for such, wow.
Is that what you said? Hey,
Yeah, it's just something like that. I can't read my own stuff. Thank you it's like I wrote cursive. Thank you so much for the kind and wonderful tribute to all the great poets, the people in LNP. Because really, this is directed to all of us. I've said from the very beginning, there's no reason for negative commenting because even if you don't like a poem, there's always something you can appreciate in it, whether it's a line or one stanza or what it is. I just always find that there's something that you can give somebody a pat on the back for. You don't have to talk somebody down. You build them up. Today you like one line, next time you might like 4. The week after you might like a stanza because they grow. I've watched people grow from, oh, I, one person comes to mind. She came in, she was so new, and the poetry was not the best. I'll put it that way. And as I watched, she always shared with us. And one day, I don't know, a good while later, I saw something she had posted, and it just knocked my socks off because it was such a wonderful piece. Um, and she had learned through her time here on all poetry and late night poets, and I found that to be so rewarding when I noticed it. It's a wonderful feeling. But when you beat somebody down and tell them, "Oh, I don't like this," or "That's not good," then they start to doubt themselves, and they almost give up. Poets are sensitive people. Just saying. Anyway.
yeah. I just realized that I had actually written him a review of this, and very shortly it was words from a wise and loving wolf spirit, optimist, realist, voyager, outrider for group late night poets, his spirit breaking paths, forerunner eternal, heralding the written word, to which he replied, "You can stop with the niceties when your keys fall off your PC."
Yeah.
That
That was Wolf
is funny.
Spirit. Well, he said to me, my in response to my comment, he goes, "I love this group, and I hope it shows." And I have to say, it always did. He always wrote such nice things to us, for us, about us. And, I always knew that he did love the group. We just couldn't see eye to eye. That was all.
Well, when you rub a wolf the wrong way, they react just like a cat that has had their fur rubbed the wrong way.
Yep. Nice, good egg.
Yes. It was a nice piece too. And I like the opening lines. Literary voyages, naysayers of the harsh critique. That's a really clever line. And purveyors of warmth and reason. So it bites into everything.
Yeah. Yep. It sure does. It sure does. Okay. Now, enough of that pat on
Now,
the back stuff. Yes,
oh,
enough
all
of that
right.
pat on the back stuff. We're all done with that. Because I can't, I don't know.
Your arm's getting sore.
No, I'm trying to figure out where to go next. Rex, I'm coming to you.
Of course you is.
I am. Well, I could have you do that. No. Well, yeah, I'll have you do that one. I'm just going to try and go down the line as best I can. Okay. This next piece is by Hats. And it says, Rex, get on your fishnets and your high heels. No, I'm only kidding. Ah! This is called I Dreamt by Hats. And whenever you're ready, Rex.
I dreamt by Hats. He took a picture of her, but the photo only left a bright spot as if she were made of uranium, not flesh. She gave birth to a white, not pink body, covered in sebum and in sticks like a porcupine. Then she threw up a placenta that looked like an octopus in translucent veins pulsed. Blood as black as cuttlefish dye. The tentacles twisted and coiled with every tremor. I heard, as if a whimper, a scream of drying up. The tentacle touched me and burned a sign into my skin. It marked me as cattle, as if I headed to the slaughterhouse. And poem. All right, Jeannie. What do you think?
Don't know where to begin. Good heavens to Betsy. Excuse me. I guess the key to this is basically that photo. He took a picture of her, but the photo only left a bright spot, as if she were made of uranium, not flesh. She gave birth to a white, not pink body, covered in sebum and sticks like a porcupine. Then she threw up a placenta that looked like an octopus. All I can imagine is like this huge flash in the middle of this picture, and if that's the case, I mean, it's a wonderful description because if you've ever seen a picture, someone takes a picture in a mirror, and all you see is that flash and that huge, spray of light, and yeah, but then she gets into something completely different, you know. So I mean, it was definitely, I don't know, That's the only thing that comes to my mind with this. So I'm not sure if that's the intent, but nicely done, and thank you so much, Emily. I mean, great imagery. I'll give her that. Honest.
All right, thank you, Jane.
Um,
Laurent, how about you?
Yeah, the attempt to take a picture of her, which resulted in a bright spot, implies that this is someone who could not be described, perhaps impossible to take a verbal picture, let alone a regular picture. The description in the second stanza that Jean partly quoted is almost a nightmarish image. A placenta that looked like an octopus in translucent veins, pulsed blood as black as cuttlefish dye. Those are memorable words. That is as good a description of a nightmarish creature as any that I've ever read. The tentacle touched me and burned a sign into my skin. almost as if the image was so powerful that it left an indelible mark. Maybe the mark of the beast. I'm not sure. It's a hell of a piece, though. I love it.
Yes, it is dark. It's nightmarish. Thank you, Laurent. I do like that note, that first stanza. He took a picture of her, but the photo only left a bright spot, as if she were made of uranium, not flesh. That kind of conjures up that note of the instant flash from the atomic bomb, uh, uh, and the flesh gone, and you get that image painted on a wall of the person that used to be. You just got that shadow on the wall itself. That note of she gave birth to a white, not pink body offers up again that ugly note of a nightmare, that fear in giving birth to something that's not quite human, so to speak. Uh, and yes, that note with the blood as black as cuttlefish dye. That's really dark. Um, it marked me as cattle, as if I headed to a slaughterhouse. Oof. Um, that had me thinking of Soylent Green at the back end, when people have finished up being their usefulness is all washed up. They are then led to the machine, where they become the Soylent Green, which then gets fed right back into society.
That was a great movie from the book
Yes, it was.
Make Room by Harry Harrison.
All right, Genie, we're back to you.
Of course you are. Isn't that what you say to me all the time? Ah, just kidding. I'm being a wise guy. Okay, this next piece I'm going to give a read to. And this is called Question Mark by Sapphire Rose. I always consider myself a flickering flame, one that wavers but cannot be tamed. A light that silences shadows as they weave and dance along the walls of the past, where memories come to dance. Perhaps there's still a chance to study the flame, a way to move forward where no one's to blame. I now see myself as a raging inferno, a light in the darkest of dark, where conflicts must be faced, and there's no longer a question mark. End poem.
Great read, Gene. Thank you very much. All right, Laurent, what do you think? It's right up your alley, a shorty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost track of my alleys. I like the image, lighting a flame yet being on fire at the same time. And that line, perhaps there's still a chance to steady the flame, a way to move forward where no one's to blame. It's an interesting piece in that it kind of looks at yourself from an outside perspective, and recognizing that what burns within you, the fire that is in you, is something that is good, that that doesn't question itself anymore. I now see myself as a raging inferno, a light in the darkest of dark, where conflicts must be faced, and there's no longer a question mark. Quite an interesting piece. I like the way it's written. And yeah, it's a
Nice.
shorty.
No, I meant that for Jean.
Yeah.
She likes her shorties.
Well, no,
All
she's
right,
graduated
Genie.
to long pieces now.
Well, every now and then she gets hog swoggled.
Yeah. Uh, I thought this was really a wonderful piece. I love the imagery and the metaphor that she chose, and I thought it was very well done. I you know, I mean, I got four couplets to work with, and I could read them all. But I always consider myself a flickering flame, one that wavers but cannot be tamed, a light that silences shadows as they weave and dance along the walls of the past, where memories come to dance. Um, but that ending down there, now I see myself as a raging inferno, a light in the darkest of dark, where conflicts must be faced, and there's no longer a question mark. You know, resolve it, end it, get past it. That's what I get in that last stanza, last couplet. And I think it was very well done. So, what does it say here? The whole of my being is like a single big question mark. That was the quote that I think she wrote to. U.G. Krishnamurti. I don't know. I probably said that all wrong, but even after the conflict subsides, the emotional burns leave deep scars, and rebuilding trust requires starting from the ashes. So, yeah, if they were the prompts, I definitely think that she nailed it. So, well done, and thank you for sharing Sapphire Rose. Nice piece.
Yes. Nice. I like the progression that leads towards that resolution because she hits on that note of conflicts and the question mark in the very last line, but you've also got that in the very first two lines. I always consider myself a flickering flame, one that wavers but cannot be tamed. So there's questioning there, and even in that note to the second one, where memories come to dance, uh, dancing and along the walls of the past. You know, there's some conflict in there and questioning of self. So that fourth that fourth couplet walks into that note of full resolution, where you dip into the fire that burns within, that desire to stop questioning oneself and just be what it is, be yourself.
Yep, yep. True, true, true. Okay, let me see now. Laurent, I'm coming to you with this piece, and this is called Psycho by Mike Horsfall.
All right, let me find it. I'm on the wrong page for some reason. All right. Psycho. In night's realm where silence reigns, I lurk, my mind in bloodied chains, eyes like shards of smashed glass, soul consumed by demons' mass. Heart is a void, a pit of night, twisted mind, a gruesome sight. My conscience echoed through the walls, black ravens cry, wolf howls a call. A dance of death, a macabre waltz, in moonlit streets where shadows halt. These hands like claws, this touch a chill, psychotic predator with nerves of steel. Hunting my prey with deadly glee, a phantom of the night, yet free. This blade of song cuts crimson dance, a nightmare born of circumstance. Beware my whispers in the dark, tattooed on skin, this killer's mark. For in my dead eyes madness gleams, nightmare born of shattered dreams, this soul a twisted, broken thing. Am I a puppet on a deadly string? A killer's mask, a twisted art, masterpiece of death, this art. So lock your doors and say a prayer, for in the shadows I could be there, my phantom killer, cold and still, a cold metaphor for human will. End poem.
Nice read, Laurent. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Gingini.
Wow, what a piece. Mike said going back in time and rhyme for the stark, dark piece. And it's so different for him, like totally. But it's a great piece. I loved his imagery throughout. I think that his story is just dark and well done. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the first stanza or the second. A dance of death and macabre waltz in moonlight streets where shadows halt. These hands like claws, this touch a chill, psychotic predator with nerves of steel. Hunting my prey with deadly glee, a phantom of the night, yet free. This blade of song cuts crimson dance, a nightmare born of circumstance. I don't know. I just like it, all the way through. The next stanza as well. I like the imagery in it and what he brought out here. And that last line, my phantom killer, cold and still, a cold metaphor for human will. Nice piece, Mike, and thanks for sharing with us. I really like this one. Great share.
Thank you, Gene. Laurent, you got to read it. How about you?
Yeah, that first stanza really describes, I think, what's inside a person. You know, in night's realm where silence reigns, I lurk my mind in bloody chains. And then we see the eyes like shards of smashed glass, a soul consumed, a heart, a void, a pit of night, a twisted mind. My conscience echoed through the walls. All these things tend to describe, I think, parts of a person that may be in him. I don't think it's an external being. I really do think it's been internalized. And yes, definitely not his style, but I do love it.
Absolutely. I roll on that note too. This is very different from Mike, but I walk on that idea. It's kind of almost a reflective and introspective note of how a psycho might view themselves.
Yep.
Look in the mirror, take a peek at themselves, dip into their minds. So this is someone who's fully embraced that note and understands who and what he is and who and what he does. Because he hits on that. Beware my whispers in the dark, tattooed on skin, this killer's mark. For in my dead eyes, madness gleams, nightmare born of shattered dreams. This soul a twisted, broken thing. Am I a puppet on a deadly string? The killer's mask, a twisted art, masterpiece of death, this heart. So he's freely admitting to that last stanza. As all I can do is to say a prayer for in the shadows I could be there. My phantom killer, cold and still, a cold metaphor for human will. Um, a full admittance to who and what he is, and understanding that as well. So nicely done there, Mike.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Gene.
Yeah, well, I'm still typing. Ah,
Hey, all right.
and we have to go slow. Talk slowly. Oh my God.
Talk slowly.
Kind of like that. A little bit longer though. Okay.
That reminds me, was that Abbott and Costello? Slowly
Slowly.
turn, step by step, inch by inch.
You left off the best line.
I forgot the rest of it.
Ah,
Damn it.
It's been a long time since I've heard that or even seen it.
nah, see that? Okay, we're gonna say hello to JoJo because JoJo wants to read the next piece.
All
Hello.
right.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, Jojo.
How you doing, Laurent? How you doing, Rex? Hi,
good.
Gene.
What's up?
Hey.
I'm pointing upward and saying that way, Rex. But see it. So.
Yes.
Oh, did you get to hear Mike's piece, Psycho?
I didn't. I was. I've been baking for the last few hours. Monarch wanted me to make some bread so that I could punch it. Punch some dough. So I've been doing that.
Sourdough?
No, my sourdough starter died over the winter. So when I get to India, I'm starting a new one.
There you go. There you go. And when is the move?
I don't have an offer yet, but my guess is about 6 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
But
There
it'll
you
be a
go.
little slow. And who knows how long visas take.
Right. Nah, get while the getting's good. Ah.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, JoJo wanted to read this next piece, so this is called "The Shapelessness Required to Belong" by Ben Hart.
The Shapelessness Required to Belong by Ben Hart. I wonder why we so rarely treasure the intimacy of our own edges before the loving act of death unwounds our memories of their inhabitants and finally absolve us of failing at the shapelessness required to belong. When I die, I hope my life does not flash before my eyes like a movie, but that it is written in Braille across my skin and read to me softly by my own fingertips. End poem.
Oh, thank you very much. Laurent, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, how far away is the end zone? All right. The intimacy of our own edges is a tantalizing statement. I wonder if it talks about the extremities that we hold and perhaps don't recognize as we age. Because he says, before the loving act of death unwounds our memories of their inhabitants. Is it the inhabitants of our mind that he refers to? Is it the edges, which we could personify as parts of ourselves, perhaps? And the shapelessness required to belong, I think, speaks to almost the fact that we're chameleons. At so many moments in our lives, we adopt different shapes, and the wish to have a life that does not flash before my eyes like a movie, but is written in Braille across my skin, as I think speaks to a well-lived life, one that's been full, and not spare without much happening. And read to me softly by my own fingertips, I think, refers to perhaps the knowledge that is granted to us on our deathbed sometimes. Either way, it's a wonderful, wonderful piece. It's a zinger. It really hit me.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. Jeannie. You got to unmute first.
She's changing the tire under the bus.
I was getting ready to throw JoJo under the bus. But I thought this was a very well-penned piece by Ben. Strong lines, and I thought the emotions in it were well expressed. It kind of gives you that feeling inside. You know, it's not necessarily, how do I say it? Ben, when he writes, a lot of times he evokes emotions without trying too hard. Is what it looks like on my side. I'm sure on his side it's a little more complicated. But I think it was very well done. I picked it up here. I wonder why we so rarely treasure the intimacy of our own edges before the loving act of death unwinds our memories of their inhabitants and finally absolves us of failing at the shapelessness required to belong. They're wonderful lines all the way through. And I think that, I just think it's a wonderful piece. As I said, emotions well expressed. But great job, Ben, and thanks for sharing with us.
Nice. Thank you, Gene. All right, Joe. What do you think? You got to read it?
I think I'm Ben Hart's biggest fan. And I think what I like about this is, there's a number of things I like about this. First and foremost, I think many of us can really identify with the idea of trying to soften ourselves so that soften our edges into a shape that is acceptable to other people. And I think that's my favorite part of the poem, is that idea. So I like that couplet, the intimacy of our own edges, because, like the edges is where our own internal kind of intimacy ends, and we start trying to have some kind of an intimacy with the people around us. So that part is really good, but also kind of sad. I guess another part that I really like about this is that there's this sense that it's kind of an abstract poem, but yet it's really still rooted in things like touch and pressure and so forth. So I like the way Ben grounds the abstraction here. And then finally, the part that I think is maybe the strongest is this parenthetical last couple of stanzas, where he's kind of turning, taking that outward view and then turning it inward and saying, when I die, I hope my life doesn't flash, but is instead, written with all of these, written in Braille across the skin. It's got this real serious kind of ocean's long kind of intimacy there that, and sense of bodily intimacy that I always loved so much. So, yeah, I can't rave enough about this poem. It's just gorgeous.
Nice. Great comments, guys. Thank you. I think up to that note, to the shapelessness required to belong, and it's on a note of flagellation and holding oneself to back, so to speak, and meeting other people's expectations. On the back end of this, I like that these last two stanzas, that note of not wanting to flash before my eyes like a movie, hits on that note of, if I'm going to relive it, I don't want it to come in those brief little flashes where you don't get to experience it in the moment.
Right.
On the back end, in Braille written across my skin and read to me softly by my own fingertips, gets to see you living all of those moments in real time without them being shortened. So you can see everything in the moment, and all those things you might have missed in the first place, because life goes really quickly and you deal with a whole ton of stuff, and some things get shelved, other things you question, and you hold yourself with recriminations for other things. So this way, you get to do it not instead of a piecemeal fashion. You get to live the whole thing as a singularity formed from birth to death. There's a nice quiet note to being able to see life as a whole thing at the back end, rather than just the quick flickers across the screen of your memories.
Right. I have to say that I think in those last lines, it's just absolutely a nod to self-love. Reading it to himself, the Braille, with his own fingertips. You start to accept yourself for exactly who you are. But anyway, what do I know? That's what I'm going to say. What do I know?
Actually, that's pretty good, Ginny.
Yeah.
You hitting that sapphire early?
No. Just water, ice water. Keeping myself out of trouble, like always.
You
It's the best.
juicing.
No juice. Nope, nothing. Just water. Good water. It's clear. Gives me the illusion, but it's nothing to write home about. Okay, Rex, I'm coming to you. This one's called Shadow I Kept by Visago.
Oh, I like that.
Whenever you are ready. Nice pick.
The Shadow I Kept by Visago. I shed my shadow, but I did not leave it behind. Others speak of light as though it arrives and washes everything clean, as though darkness was merely a mistake. I know better. My shadow taught me where truth hides. It showed me where lies are born, in fear, in pride, in the stories we tell ourselves when reality hurts too much. So, when the weight fell away, when the chains loosened, when I finally rose, I did not cast my shadow into the abyss. I reached for it. Wounds remain, scars remain, memories remain, and I will not leave him behind. For if I leave him, I leave part of myself. The light may guide me now, the shadow remembers. The roads I walked, the mistakes I made, the price of learning the difference. He remembers what I survived, what I became, what I refused to become. So I rise, not pure, not cleansed, not reborn, whole, with light before me, and my shadow still holding my hand. End poem. Nice. Jojo, what do you think about this one?
Oh, wow. So I like it as a response to the image, first and foremost. I like that there's this angelic kind of a figure rising up into the sky, and yet kind of behind it, below it is a little bit of a shadow or maybe like a dark smoke. So you've got this angelic figure that's kind of pointing and moving upward toward the light, and maybe it's toward heaven, who knows? But the first couple of stanzas, the first few stanzas, capture that really nicely. But then it felt to me like Vizago was talking about like finding not finding yourself, but finding a part of yourself. My shadow taught me where truth hides, so it showed me where lies are born. So, like looking inside of yourself and trying to find truth and lies. So maybe subdividing your psyche into that which is honest and maybe real, and then the rest, which is kind of fake. Stories that we tell ourselves. So that whole second piece felt like that, and well, is about that, I would say. After that, I just got this overwhelming sense of this introspection, maybe not telling us or telling the narrator what they thought they were going to hear. Like, these wounds remain and scars remain and memories remain. Like it felt a little unexpected to me. And then, yeah, so that was the part that I think struck me the strongest anyway.
Nice. Thank you, Jojo. Laurent, how about you?
In the beginning, when Vizago says, "I shed my shadow, but I did not leave it behind." Others speak of light as though it arrives and washes everything clean, as though darkness was merely a mistake. It's been said in a song that the brighter the light, the darker the shadow that it casts. And within that shadow can lie our darker selves, or at least the place where bad things, uncomfortable things originate. Darkness is not going to be naive. It will know where things are placed. And it's as much a part of ourselves as the light is. So if you're going to take the light, you're also going to bring the shadow. You're not going to leave it behind, because that's where, as he says again, my shadow taught me where truth hides. I thought it was a splendid piece.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. Jeannie?
I concur. I think this is a great piece. Um, I guess I'm gonna start backwards here a little bit. Where is it? Here. Where did it go? It's here. It's here. I know it's here. It didn't leave. It's not up there. Uh, well, I'll pick it up here. And I will not leave him behind. For if I leave him, I leave part of myself. The light may guide me now. The shadow remembers. The roads I walked, the mistakes I made, the price of learning the difference. He remembers what I survived, what I became, and what I refused to become. So I rise, not pure, not cleansed, not reborn, whole, with light before me and my shadow still holding my hand. I thought it was an excellent piece, Pen. Wonderful imagery and thoughts expressed. I really loved it a lot. And we should never lose sight of the things that made us who we are. So, for that in itself, I thought this was a beautiful job. And thank you for sharing with us tonight, Vizago. Really enjoyed this one. Well done.
Nice. Thank you, Jeannie. I'm walking along those same lines as Laurent. Light. This is all about light and dark. That note of they are part and parcel of us. It's that duality we hold, and that's because he does hit on it. My shadow taught me where truth hides. It showed me where lies are born, in fear, in pride, in the stories we tell ourselves when reality hurts too much. Um, so that note of shedding is the idea of finding the balance, because within that note of shadow, you get varying degrees of darkness. You got the gray outlines, you got the deeper, darker interior. I think with this, it's that note of finding the balance and understanding that balance, so you don't get tipped over the edge. Because he hits on that: wounds remain, scars remain, memories remain, and I will not leave him behind. For if I leave part of myself. Yes, you can shed that sense of darkness that you may hold as part and parcel of oneself, but you can't fully get away. Drop it, because it is part of who and what you are. And that note to the roads I walked, the mistakes I made, the price of learning the difference. The idea of, if you fully shed that, get rid of it totally, then you are bound to end up making those mistakes once more, because you gotten rid of the idea of what they represent. And that truth that held within is that you need to remember those. You need to have that on the back end of the burner, so to speak, so you do not repeat those very same mistakes again, walk those dark roads. And then he hits on. So I rise, not pure, not cleansed, not reborn, but whole, with the light before me and my shadow still holding my hand. Again, that note. We are both light and shadow. There, it's reflective of us. So,
Yeah,
nicely done, Rosago.
absolutely. Okay, well, the next piece I'm going to put up is called Existence Blurred in Golden Light by Pam Ray. I'm not nervous. Just want you to know that. Okay. She delves into each inked word, digesting the plots like sampled sweets. Dancing fairies rise and spin, bringing with them luscious offerings. Outside the world is the clanking of metal and honking of horns, the hustle and bustle of life. Stranger passing stranger, indulgent conversations between friends, chattering like magpie. Inside, time is blurred out of existence and bathed in a golden light. With an innocence allowed her, she ignores the sharp edges of noise and breathes within the land and a land of blooms and literature, reaching towards moonlight. End poem.
Great read there, Gene. Thank you very much. Laurent, why don't you kick us off, please?
Can you come right back to me, please? I'm sorry.
Sure. Joe, you got bust rolled.
No, I don't mind. Always happy to discuss a Pam Ray poem. So I like the contrast here between her inner world, the inked world, digesting the plots like sampled sweets. Seems like a really nice way to think about maybe when we're reading a really sweet novel, really sweet plot. And I like the image of the dancing fairies rising and spinning. It reminds me of when my daughter was young and taking ballet, and I would take her to ballet, and they would be doing their dance, and I would be sitting there in the parents' room, reading a book and looking up and watching her dance, and then going back to my book. And then contrasting that with the outside clanking and honking, hustling and bustling world. The stranger passing stranger, etc. Chattering like magpie, I think that should be magpies. And if so, then that's a really strong image for a Collingwood Magpies fan who has seen magpies not only chattering amongst themselves in a cacophony of sound, but also flying straight at your face trying to kill you. And then so that contrast between that the sweet plots on the inside and the kind of chaotic outside world, I think, is really strong. And supported here with some really strong images that did a lot for me. So I'll leave it at that.
Nice. Thank you, Joe. Genie.
Yes. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm doing things backwards here, as always. Backwards, might I add. I thought this was a nice piece by Pam, and I thought it was a great take on that image prompt. Wonderful imagery, and I said the hustle and bustle of the outside world countered in this piece by the peace we find in our own space. No matter what's going on outside, when you come inside and you read or you write, it's everything just kind of disappears in some way. It's that solitude that you get in your own, in your own skin, in your own area, in your own space. And the light coming through the window, I thought was captured nicely in this. Inside, time is blurred out of existence and bathed in a golden light. It's just peaceful and serene. So I like that very much. So thank you, Pam, for sharing with us tonight. Great job.
Nice. Thank you, Gene.
Mhm.
Laurent, how about you?
Yeah, this poem, in many ways, mirrors, I think, the experiences of most poets or most people who like to read. She delves into each inked word, digesting the plots like sampled sweets. I can remember being in school, absolutely eager to dive back into a book the moment study hall came or I went home, because the plots would sit in my mind and kind of percolate, and fill me with a love for reading that was very much like a sampled sweet. Dancing fairies rise and spin, bringing with them luscious offerings, and those plots were luscious offerings. And when she says, inside time is blurred out of existence, that's exactly what happens. The world falls away, and you are within what you are reading. A land of blooms and literature reaching towards moonlight. It perfectly describes the reading experience for me.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. I think the picture's important because it hits me with the idea of it's stark. It's filled with light, yet you got a young girl sitting on a chair and she's alone. So this kind of hits me, especially with those the third and fourth stanzas. That note of the outside world, clanking metal hungry horns, hustle and bustle, indulgent conversation between friends chatting like magpies. Um, it kind of hits on that note of she's not wanted out there yet. In here, she has that flavor of what leads her into her own little world, delving into each ink word, digesting the plots like sampled sweets, dancing fairies, um, and then that note of inside time is blurred out of existence and bathed in a golden light. Because normally you got that kind of golden light right there. With a kid her age, she'd be outside playing with friends. So there's a disconnect there. But with that, she's happy to dig into something that gives her imagination something to walk within and play with and enjoy.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Is it back to me, Rex?
Absolutely.
Okay, just checking. I want to make
Stockpile
sure.
on a rabbit.
Oh my God! Aaron's in the room because he's starting. Rex is starting up. Okay, this piece is called Le Temps Fond by
Oh,
Laurent Yvonne.
Monty's here too.
Yes.
Who?
Hello, Monty. I said hello to him over there. Yes. Okay, Laurent, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Le temps fond. Time melts itself across the rough edge of a knife slash. Seas breach, snapping umbilical fault lines. Energies inconsistent with belief released across time. Fracturing bonds of the space continuum, flinging what's left like cutouts to canvas. For, in moments of mad sanity, time melts. End poem.
Great read, Laurent. Thank you very much. Gingy?
It's a nice piece, Laurent. I'm surprised that it's as much of a brevity as it is. But I think you captured the image well, and I think you also captured the prompt. Write a poem about what happens when you literally fall into surreal painting, and I think you did capture that well. Let me see. I'm going to pick it up here only because I got to take that the last line. Fracturing bonds of the space continuum, flinging what's left like cutouts to canvas. For a moment of mad sanity, time melts. Mad sanity. I like that. That was good. But the whole piece is great. Beginning to end, it all just flows nicely and very well written. So thanks for sharing.
Nice. Thank you, Gene. Jojo, how about you?
Well, I really like the what I think is, well, what came through to me anyway was this idea that madness and what is it? Clarity, I guess, is what I would call it. That they kind of go together. They kind of go hand in hand. They kind of feel like different views of the same thing. I think I'm thinking of like the ending for "In Moments of Mad Sanity, Time Melts." So I really like that a lot. And just the idea, that time is not. I mean, we have a weird experience of time. Time is very linear, but our experience of it is, there's times where time flies, and there's other times where time feels like it's slowed down. And so I got that coming through kind of strong for me anyway, that the time melting is kind of this non-linearity to time that we experience, even though 1 second is always 1 second. So I felt like that came through really strong for me as well. Nice write, Laurent.
Nice. Thank you, Jojo. Well, you hit on time and space, or space continuum. Probably you got a bit of space time that walks in with this too. The idea of as you dip into surreality, things tend to warp because of the weight of what is being represented in the moment. What else you got? Fracturing bonds of the space continuum. You hit on that idea of being loosened in the moment because of what you're seeing is not a normal note of what life is as a representative thought. Yet, with that note of space time being bent, everything becomes its own little surreal picture in the moment. It might offer up that note of mad sanity, so to speak. Well, moments of mad sanity. There's a contradiction in terms there. The idea of holding brief moments of madness while walking sanely, or brief moments of sanity while being a madman. But it's all a kind of a reflected note to what one sees in one's eye and what one draws through the brain, because it doesn't walk that note of reality that one is used to.
If I may?
Yes.
When I looked at the picture, and it's a famous picture, I mean, Dali has done a number of pictures with melted clocks, and a clock represents time. And I asked myself, what did he see in the world that would make him paint clocks in that way? So I took the approach of trying to, in an abstract way, because the contest conditions called for abstraction, the impressions that I got from seeing the picture, but the idea was to show what Dali saw in his own mind, because he had mental problems. There were times when he was mad, and within that madness was a clarity that I called sanity. So what was in his mind appeared on the canvas, and in his mind, time melted. And that's the approach I took.
Oh, okay.
If it makes sense. If it makes sense.
Well, wouldn't we all just love to be able to bend time? That's what I'll say. Wouldn't we all? But great piece. Okay, Rex, are you coming back to me?
Absolutely. You're on the wall.
Well, I don't know about all that. But this next piece is called Metamorphosis by Errant Panther. And I have a button for that. So let me go and hit it. Here we go.
Metamorphosis by Errant Panther. If there was a cadence behind such callow eyes, would it dare the moon to rise again, simply to map its shadow? Would it interrogate the stars, to spill the dirt on wayward clouds? Or would it succumb to the intimidation of dawn's intoxicating breath? Is there a moment where ego repeals its desire to consume a dream in order to perpetuate a false facade, lest the act of honesty drain the luster from entitled indulgence? This drama, shrouded behind layers of cashmere and lace, uncovers nothing but the same fragile skin of those whose dreams don't require infinite space to reside within. What we call these moments, what we call ourselves, is set to linger in the annals of time. Like an echo of forgiveness we've never allowed ourselves to hear. And when tomorrow's breath meets the tender air, how will the light of such an understanding depict the latent shadow of a metamorphic mind? End poem.
Great read, Eric. Thank you for the SoundCloud. Very much appreciate it. Laurent, let's kick it off with you, please.
Sure. On the second stanza, is there a moment where ego repels its desire to consume a dream in order to perpetuate a false facade, lest the act of honesty drain the luster from entitled indulgence? It's almost as if there's, how do I want to say this? There's a drama, there's a tenseness between what we are and who we want to be. And I think it's well captured in this piece by Errant.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. Jojo, how about you?
Oh, so I really like that stanza. This drama, shrouded behind layers of cashmere and lace, uncovers nothing but the same fragile skin. I love that. So there's when I first read it, I wondered if maybe Aaron was talking about, say, a husband and wife uncovering a relationship with, like the man being cashmere and the woman being lace, but then I didn't really see anything about, say, a husband and wife relationship after that. So I think that stanza is just more about how we costume ourselves, how we wear these costumes, and when you take them off, when you disrobe from all of this, you're just left with your fragile inner self, which is, I think, really kind of cool, really strong. What else did I like? Well, I liked the whole thing. It's a strong poem. I love the abstraction, and I love the representation of metamorphosis here, not as a physical change so much as sort of an inner / maybe like psychological and perhaps emotional change that's going on the inside. Even like, if you're taking off the cashmere and lace, what you're really doing is exposing the fragile, say, inner psyche. And so that's, to me, where the metamorphosis is. So I think that's a strong image for me. I liked it, Aaron. Really good job.
Nice. Thank you, John. Janie.
Yeah, I thought this was nicely penned. Great lines throughout. And I thought it was a nice take on the chosen prompts. You would be stealing the clouds out of the sky before the moon had changed twice. Dangerous thing, a name. Someone might catch hold of you by it, mightn't they? I thought that was pretty clever. I liked how this started out, this first stanza. If there was a cadence behind such callow eyes, would it dare the moon to rise again, simply to map its shadow? Would it interrogate the stars to spill the dirt on wayward clouds? Or would it succumb to the intimidation of dawn's intoxicating breath? Uh, so it's definitely, to me, is directed towards an individual. No one in particular, just an individual.
Yes.
And then this drama shrouded behind layers of cashmere and lace uncovers nothing but the same fragile skin of those whose dreams don't require infinite space to reside within. Once you take off all that facade that he spoke of in the stanza before, you know, it's still skin. There's still skin under there, and I don't know. I think it fits together wonderfully. So nicely done, Aaron, and I really like the way you put this together. I really do. So well done, and thanks for sharing.
Nice. Good
Hmm.
comments, everybody. I think that second stanza is really important. Is there a moment where ego repeals its desire to consume a dream in order to perpetuate a false facade, lest the act of honesty drain the luster from entitled indulgence? Or the end of that stanza is that note of, as you put it, that James, that next stanza down, the drama, uh, shedding all those that note of ego, shedding that idea of, as he puts it, entitled indulgence, that note of moving outside of that angle into a newer sense of self, uh, where thought actually means something, because what we call these moments, what we call ourselves, is set to linger in the annals of time like an echo of forgiveness we've never allowed ourselves to hear. That idea of uh, divesting oneself of what ego torments. Ego bites at us more often than not, as far as life goes, because we think on that note of ego, and it tends to weigh heavily. And that the bottom end of this, with the question too, and then tomorrow's breath meets tender air. How will the light of such an understanding depict the latent shadow of a metamorphic mind? So, uh, hitting on that idea of the next step in our evolution, divesting ourselves of that which keeps us bound, and walking into a new sense of possibility for the human spirit.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Back to you, Gene.
Exactly. Okay, the next piece I'm going to put up is called Touched by me. It's rough when I have to go searching things up for the
Yeah,
show.
they're doing civet coffee in the
I,
room.
s- I saw that. I saw that. Um, okay, so
Yeah,
here we
take
go.
the damn things out of bloody hell.
Yeah, right? Forget that. Okay, this piece is called Touched. Spirit touching spirit, a simple flutter upon my heart, unlocked the chains that once bound it. I let you in. I allowed you to touch my life, to cradle me within your wisdom as well as your peace. I was yours to love, if only for a moment, in the realm of an eternity. I died and was reborn. Within your arms, with your every kiss, I found myself. I have lain naked at your feet, waiting for the gifts that spill forth from you to flow freely down upon my flesh. I have knelt still upon the grains, asking silently for tender mercies, thankful for all he has given, touched by his hand upon my head, upon my heart, and again upon my soul, guiding me toward a deeper understanding. granting me his peace, his love, his wisdom, sheltering my soul patiently and without question. Unconditional love, sacred beauty in the silence captured now within my soul. End poem.
Great read, Gene. Thank you very much. Laurent, you want to kick us off?
Yes, indeed. This is one of the better things that you've written, Gene. It's a terrific write. It's you capture the essence of sensuousness in the first long stanza, and the essence of faith and spirituality in the last. The writing in this was gorgeous. I particularly liked, "I've lain naked at your feet, waiting for the gifts that spill forth from you to flow freely down upon my flesh," because it combines the sensuousness and the spirituality at the same time instead of separating them. Very well done.
Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. Jojo?
Yeah, that's exactly what really struck me and jumped out at me is the mixing there of the, I guess, beloved. I mean, it seems to me like the beginning, the narrator is talking about a person, two spirits coming together, and clearly someone who was important and touched the narrator's life in a deep way. So, like partners, husband, wife, whatever. And then there's kind of this rebirth, and I died and was reborn within your arms. So it's a really serious relationship. I don't get the sense that it's puppy love or even like a first love. It's like a true love. And then it transitions to, all of to uh, a spiritual relationship, and this relationship with God, the capital he and capital H his. So clearly talking about then a spiritual relationship. So that putting those two together gives it a really beautiful vibe. Nicely done, Gene.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, I don't know if you shaped this on purpose this way, but that first one, it reminds me of a keyhole.
Oh,
And everything you've written in there kind of hits on that note of the key itself, the key to life, the key to self, the idea of what's important within that, because I allowed you to touch my life, creating me with your wisdom as well as your peace. I was yours to love, if only for a moment, in the realm of an eternity. I died and was reborn within your arms. With your ever kiss, I found myself. I have lain naked at your feet, waiting for the gifts that spill forth from you to flow freely down upon my flesh. That that note of Jojo hit about rebirth. That walks on the note of someone who's hit that note of giving themselves over, because you hit on spirit touching spirit. So right off, you're walking in that spiritual angle of life itself before you even walk into the back end with he and him and his. That idea of acceptance fully and understanding what goes on when you accept him. And then you go right into that two-liner. I have knelt up still upon the grains, asking silently for tender mercies. There's prayer there. And this, the back end, is offering up that full note of allegiance to him, his, God. The idea of giving oneself fully and freely to the thought, the idea, and the principles of um, what he has given you within your rebirth or reimagining, reacceptance.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm. Let me see now. I appreciate the comments, guys. And the next piece that I'm going to put up well, if I get here, is called Almost Harmless by T.S. Jojo. So whenever you're ready, Joe.
Oh, I know him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is my latest in my collection of tumor poems. So this is Almost Harmless by Jojo. By the time they found it, your body had lied for months. Not a mythic lie, nothing biblical, just the daily fraud of getting up, pouring coffee, answering when called. On the scan, it was a white knot fixed in the dark, small enough to shame the terror that gathered around it. A doctor touched the screen with the back of his pen. Here, he said, as if the body were a map and not the place you had been living. It had no hatred in it. That was the worst part. It wanted only what living things want when no one teaches them where to stop. More room, more blood, more of the house. So blood went elsewhere, nerves dimmed, doors closed quietly inside you. You let them, or something in you did. Years before, on an island where the marsh kept its own counsel, and shrimp boats moved like nothing brutal had happened near water. A family learned how to keep a table level over a room no one entered and everyone carried. The mother smiled. The plates were passed. Someone laughed too loudly. There are houses that survive by using the children as foundation. There are children who grow up and still hear floorboards when a stranger says their name. Not memory, not nightmare, just a room that kept using them. Under the floor, water lifted. Above it, the house stood. So they called the house saved. Later, under surgical light, your body became a country of blue cloth, a square of skin, a clean field, a brightness that made the inside look more honest than it was. The surgeon cut where the good flesh turned traitor. No one said innocent. No one said guilty. The thing lifted free with a softness I still flinch to imagine. In the dish, it looked smaller than what it had taken, almost harmless. That is how some things win, by requiring pity at the instant they must be ended. Afterward, the scar made its thin mouth and shut. The old house stayed inside you. The body did not win. It went on, which is not the same. Some nights, my hand finds your scar before we awake, and I relearn what you knew then. The cut was necessary, and necessity did not make it clean. End poem.
Great read, Jojo. Thank you very much. Laurent, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, Jojo, terrific piece, eh? You've got others in this series on what did you
Tumors, on cancer.
tumors? Yes. I'm gonna have to investigate it because I often wondered how I would react if I or somebody else I loved had something like this. When you say a doctor touched the screen with the back of his pen, here, he said, as if the body were a map and not the place you had been living. It had no hatred in it. That was the worst part. It wanted only what living things want when no one teaches them where to stop. More room, more blood, more of the house. And then the image of doors closing inside you. is I think very, very powerful. This combines a sickness with it combines the sickness, how I think children react to it, and how everyone who lives in a house in the family reacts as well, and what foundations are laid and which ones aren't. It's beautifully done, and you portray pain in such a not a pleasant way, but you make it something other than what it is really. Wow, I don't know, I'm running out of words here because it involved me in such a way that I was almost inside the poem. I really saw and felt the emotions that you wanted us to feel. Excellent work.
Nice. Thank you, Laurent. Gingy.
Yes. Well, this was a wonderful piece, and I have to agree with Laurent. Um, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go, but there are houses that survive by using the children as foundation. There are children who grow up and still hear floorboards when a stranger says their name. Not memory, not nightmare, just a room that kept using them. Under the floor, water lifted. Above it, the house stood. So they called the house saved. And then you get into later under surgical light, your body became a country of blue cloth, a square of skin, a clean field of brightness that made the inside look more honest than it was. Um, yeah, and it just goes beyond that. Um, and then at the very end, afterwards, the scar made his thin mouth and shut. The old house stayed inside you. The body did not win. It went on, which is not the same. Some nights my hand finds you scarred before we awake, and I relearn what you knew then. The cut was necessary, and necessity did not make it clean. I thought that was pretty, hard hitting at the end, but very well done, well expressed. You know, uh, yeah, just a great piece all the way through.
All right. Thank you, Gene.
Hmm.
I like this too. I I like that you bent walked in and out with that note of the scar of the tumor itself, and I couldn't help but think there was um, these two stanzas had me thinking if there's a little bit more going on than just the tumor itself, because you also speak to uh, when there are times when things need to be excised, cut out, so to speak. So you walk on innocence and pain, and there are houses that survive by using their children as foundation. There are children who grew up and still hear floorboards when a stranger says their name. That there's an inherent darkness in there that walks another line of thought. So, not memory, not nightmare, just a room that kept using them. Under the floor, water lifted. Above it, the house stood. Oof, that kind of walks almost a dark note to abuse. But then you roll back in again. The surgeon cut with a good flesh, turned traitor. No one said innocent. No one said guilty. Thing lifted free with a softness I still flinch to imagine. Um, it's sort of, and then you roll it afterward. The scar made its thin mouth and shut. There's another quiet note. There's something else in there. Uh, and then on the back end, and I relearned what you knew then. The cut was necessary, and necessity did not make it clean. So you finish with a dark note too. So sometimes, well, me on this, you do hit on the full with the tumors walking through this, but I'm thinking you're alluding to some of the darker things that may happen in families, and sometimes the necessity of cutting clean not just the tumor itself, but the tumor that dwells within the family abode needs to be cut out and excised. Would you like to offer up a note?
Yeah, so this was we did a Monarch and I did a Books and Bards this week for Pat Conroy's The Prince of Tides, and so there's this these escaped convicts that sexually assault some of the family members, and so there's the trauma of the sexual assault, but then the real trauma, the longer, bigger trauma is that afterwards they just, the family goes on as if nothing happened. They don't talk about it. And their whole attitude is that they'll survive by lying to themselves about it. And so they just seal their mouths, seal their lips, like the scar. And so I was thinking about family trauma, sexual assault kind of trauma as being this internal wound, and even if you try to cut it out, it's still there inside, especially if you don't talk about it. So that's where the family imagery comes in, as it's kind of pulled from the sexual assault and ensuing silence around that trauma from the Prince of Tides. And then I was kind of just trying to relate that to a tumor, like a cancer, which grows in silence and doesn't really mean to be harmful, just like the silence of the family. But in the end, it actually really is, because it doesn't know when to stop. It just grows, and it felt like that's how the silence following a family trauma like the Wingo family suffered. So I was trying to make that comparison, I guess.
Well, I did get that heavy note of abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, it was some escaped convicts raped like 3 members of the family or something. But the real abuse was just that nobody talked about it afterwards,
Yeah, you try and lock it up, and eventually it locks you up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Gingy, we're back on you.
Okay, well, I'm coming back to you for this last piece. It's called The World is a Stage by Laurent Montagnier.
The World is a Stage by Laurent Montagnier. The world of today is full of the crowded circus of imitators and the thespian theatre of ingrates. 'Tis the evolving world of today where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer by the day. The imitators prostitute their morals to reach fame, the famous prostitute their souls. The kings and men of power rule over their subjects like appointed divine gods of entitlement. They sit upon their self-righteous thrones like sculptured golden statues of Greek mythology to be revered. Heedless philanderers, not neat. Heedless philanderers, not heedful philanthropists. Selfish hedonism instead of inspiring philosophy. The deliberate crusades of ignorant minds than the creative odyssey of intellectual discovery. Forsaken enlightenment lost in the pages of dusty books and replaced by the obsession of technology. Disguised clowns masquerading as men of faith and corporate leaders
between the
tinkering with the
Adriatic
cloaking
and the
babble of
Mediterranean.
avidity.
Historically, every single
A
navy that
spacious
has ever
arena of
wanted to
vain
dominate
demigods,
this area or
a
control
radical
trade through
pursuance
it has had
of apocalyptic illusions demented, cults of erroneous doctrines inculcated, and disciples of the duplicitous Judas propagated. Frivolous dogmas of anthropomorphic superiority and psychedelic aberrations of junkies. This is the evident reality of the world of mortality, not the canvas of utopian artistry. You live one day, and you die the other. You are famous one day, and you are forgotten the next day. The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. I much prefer to watch in the auditorium and muse myself. Creo que absurdum est. End poem. All right, Jojo, you want to kick us?
You're on mute, Jojo.
Sorry, my laptop sometimes does that.
No problem.
So this was a late edition. I wish I had had a little bit of time to
Galaxy.
go through it several times, because it's dense, and it's fierce. So it's I want to call it satire, but it seems like satire is not quite the right word. It's not satirizing society; it's condemning it, really. And it's just full. Like every couplet is just like another condemnation of the world as a stage. And it's full on from beginning to end. Literally every couplet is it couplet? Yeah, every couplet except, well, I don't know. Actually, maybe they're just indentations, but every line anyway is just this, is just excoriating this world that we live in, and I guess in a sense that we built. I love the heedless philanderers, not heedful philanthropists. Selfish hedonism instead of inspiring philosophy. That just seems so much like the world I live in these days. And but every line here is basically full on condemnation. So really nice job there.
Nice. And Jeannie.
Yes, yes. I thought this was a great piece by Frank, very well expressed, and there's so many great lines throughout. But I think that it was the take on the prompt that I really liked. The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. Um, I think that he hit on that and he stayed on that, all the way through. Um, and I like his Latin phrase at the end. I believe because it is absurd. So very well done, Frank, and I thank you for sharing. Nice piece.
Nice. And Laurent, how about you?
He may be too busy with his other endeavors tonight.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I can try. I can try and unmute him, but we'll see what we hear.
I write
Um,
seeking
Yeah,
information.
see, I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna walk along with JoJo. I think the word you were looking for, JoJo, was sardonic, because this was biting, mocking,
Yes,
and
yes.
it just a rip through. So I do like that note, the bite at Shakespeare. All the world is a stage, and we but merely the players upon that stage. Well, this walks on that note of, yeah, we are cast really badly. So there is a note of humor in it as well, but boy, it's a ripper of bugger off, so to speak.
Also, I think Creoquia absurdum est means like, I believe this is just absurd or something like that.
Yeah,
Which it's at the end.
Yeah, I think that's what it means.
It says, "I believe because it is absurd."
Because it is absurd, right? Absurd, right?
Yeah, yeah. Frank put in his author's notes.
Oh,
Yes, no problem.
yeah, you got to go down a little further.
got it.
Mm. Well, Rex, great show tonight. Thank you for co-hosting with me as always. Thanks,
Yes,
Jojo, for calling in. Thank you, Laurent. And it was great to see Monty and Vizago and Aaron and Robbie. Did I say Robbie twice? I might have. Senility's great. But Monty and Aaron and Robbie and yes, Vizago and yeah. So I think I hit everybody. That's pretty scary. And hopefully everyone enjoyed the show and y'all have a great weekend. I mean, it's already time. Good night, Monty. Thank you.
good night, gang. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Good night.
Good night.